I am Slow Rider, this is my world. And you join me just before Winnet's Pass, which is a road everyone loves to go down. It's a lovely bit of road. Nice cyclist getting out of the way. So today I thought I would bring up the subject of group riding tours. Not everyone's favourite thing. Not everyone wants to do it, everyone likes doing it, but it's recently the first time I've done a proper group tour with other people. Let's turn that down a little bit. People I didn't know. And I can only imagine that's the scariest sort of tour, really, with group tour with people you don't know. So I don't necessarily want to persuade you to do it. I just want to sort of talk you through my experience of it, because I mean the videos weren't the greatest, but they were all right. But I am one of these people who, I mean, not that many people would believe this, but I do actually struggle to make friends. So, you know, going on a group tour with people I don't know, it's kind of anxiety-inducing. Going on long tours is anxiety-inducing. In fact, these days, just getting out on the bike I find a little bit anxiety-inducing, and I don't really know why, because once I'm on the bike it's fine. But just sort of that morning feeling of, oh, I really don't want to do this. So it did take a little bit of time to actually. Well, it took a bit of time to decide to do it. To be honest, it's bad. You know, the anxiety is bad enough for a Wild Bad Weekender and stuff like that. They're great places to go to, and I recommend it. And even ABR was anxiety-inducing. Everything's anxiety-inducing, basically. Let's just put it that way. You know, you sort of wake up in the morning and want to curl up and sleep on, sort of thing. So if that's you as well, then, you know, I'm just saying. Maybe this is the video for you. It's really not. I'm not a psychologist. But yeah, see, I went on the Picos tour October 2025, in case you're watching this in the future, or in your present, but my future, if you know what I mean. Does that make any sense? No, it doesn't really. I missed the original allocation. I didn't think it'd be something I wanted to do, because of the whole sort of not knowing anyone who would be on the tour, not knowing anyone who would want to go on the tour, frankly. You know, if you can book a few people, that would surely be better, no? So yes, quite a battle of nerves to actually book it in the first place. And yeah, when I saw there were still some places remaining, I thought, oh, you know what, I'll go with that. I'll do it. I'll prompt up the money. Didn't stop the anxiety, to be honest, but I was just largely committed. And then, of course, it didn't help that the sprint died, because that's the bike I was going to go on. That was a little bit anxiety-inducing. To get the new bike, or you know, get the miles on in the clock get whilst on the clock and get the first service done and so on. Something Richie himself has had to do recently with a new bike. And then I messed up a little bit on the new bike trying to adjust the chain. And that was right before the tour. Got that sorted out at least well enough to actually get on the tour though. Thank you to his friendly mechanic Scott. It is Scott, I'm remembering that right, aren't I? Or is it something Scott? Anyway. Thank you to him. So yeah, my anxiety, I mean, at that point it was almost sort of, I'm just going to go home. You know, I've messed up so badly, I'm going to go home. But I fought past that and sheepishly turned up to the meeting place down south. And although we had a WhatsApp group sort of going for, I think it was a couple of weeks, basically, yeah, when you don't know people, you've either got to be very outgoing and almost attack people, or no one gets to know each other, because, you know, I think there are some people who are a bit more capable of communicating than I am on that group, just a few. But yeah, the group I was with, the obviously Richie Reader, Norway Kev, he was the tail end for the trip, and yeah, me and 11 others. But the 11 others are actually really nice people, and I think part of the reason, you know, we got on, I guess we're kind of like-minded. The reason that happened is because we all watch Richie Reader's videos. You know, we've all at least got that in common, that and bikes. I think if you go on other tours, maybe not so much. If you go to Canary Islands or whatever, you don't really know who you're going over there with as such, who's going to be there or whatever, unless you do a self-guided. But if you booked onto a group tour, who do you know that's there? And some people thrive in that environment. I don't particularly. But yeah, I feel like I was welcomed into the group. I think the others bonded quite well, and I was welcomed in. That's nice. That's kind of the way it feels. But they are genuinely nice people. So I think you know, if you are going to do it, you've got to do a bit of research. Do you know what I mean? You've got to have an idea of what sort of tour it is, and are the people on it likely to be people you get on with. I use as an example here Teapot One's Chicken Strip Tours, although it's not strictly here, so I think he shares the company or whatever, but the Chicken Strip Tours is basically really quick riding in whichever part of the world you're in. So that's, I think, what you should kind of expect. It's not to say they're all going to be complete loonies or whatever, it's just, you know, you can expect to have to ride fast on that tour, because it's a chicken strips tour, you know? It seems kind of logical to me. So there was another level of anxiety going into the trip that is worth mentioning, and that was the speed of the other riders. I'll concede I was slightly heartened to see that one of the riders was on one of those cruiser-style BMWs. I'm sorry, I don't know what type they are. Gave me a little bit of hope that I might actually be able to keep up with someone. But I think so good was the group, and to an extent Richie's sort of guiding as well, that it didn't really matter. Richie was slowing down at various points or stopping at various points to allow the group to catch up, and there's a certain amount of pressure there, I guess, to do a reasonable pace. I think Kevin the back did a good job as well. I mean, he was... he obviously had to be the slowest of us because it was the tail end. But I found myself somewhere in the middle. I think possibly the middle. There were very definitely quicker riders. In fact, I think there were some that were probably quicker than Richie, but he was of a good speed that meant that he was sort of disappearing off with the faster riders, and they seemed content. And I could do my pace, which is the important thing when you're in a group ride, is to go at your own pace and not at someone else's. Wrong gears. And it being a guided tour meant we didn't have to worry about stopping points necessarily, because they're pre-plumbed into it. Richie did a good job with the routes. But he's had some practice. But no, he did a good job with the routes, so it's, you know, it made it easier for everyone else, I think, in that regard. I think we were all fairly amenable to allowing people to come past, you know. There was a question asked right at the start, are we allowed to overtake? And they said, well, you know, obviously they don't overtake Richie. But yeah, as long as it's safe, it's fine. And there was one which apparently wasn't safe, or wasn't deemed by some people within the group to be entirely safe, but we did have a quiet chat. And that's the thing, is that the standard of character within that group meant that no egos were harmed, you know? It's just, okay, we disagree, but let's try not to have that situation again, and let's move on. And that's it, you know? And, you know, hats off to, I won't mention who it is, he knows who he is, and, it's, you know, I've no problem with him at all. I really don't. Because we were able to do that. We were able to say, look, hold on, you know. This is what I thought was wrong. This is, you know, this is how I saw it, and okay, well that's fine. Let's not make a big issue of it. Let's move on. Perfect. That's just exactly what you need. This is kind of a rambly sort of video. I do apologise. But it's just as my thoughts come to me, I'm sort of laying them out, you know. Yes, I'm going down this road again. I love this road. Like it more when there's not traffic on it. Yeah, so there was that minor altercation, but aside from that, I mean, I don't know of any issues that the group had, to be honest. And it didn't matter that some were faster than others, or that some weren't as good at riding as others, and I put myself in the lower category there of not being a great rider. I think we all have the the same mindset. We're all there to have a good time, a relaxing time, and, you know, get on with each other. I think, well, I say relaxing, mostly riding and waking up really early in the morning. I don't think any of us were there to have an ego or anything like that. We're all good people, and yeah, that really helps, I think. It certainly helped me. I don't know about the others, it certainly helped me that there was no big cheese. Whether anyone thought they were better than anyone else is a matter for debate, I guess, between the individual people, but I don't think there was. I don't think there was. But in terms of riding sort of pace, I think I was pretty much in the middle of the group, and pretty much on my own in that regard. There were some who were sort of, wanted to go fast some days and not other days, but I think we were all respectful enough in, letting people past or whatever. Well, that one occasion. So I think, if you get the right group, you're going to have a really good time on that group ride. It doesn't really matter whether you know them before you go or not. In fact, maybe sometimes it's better that you don't. That was a nice ride around there, actually. I don't often get a clear run, and okay, there was a car, but dispatched that pretty quickly. Yeah, that's quite a nice ride through there. Anyway, yeah, good riding. Yeah, I really enjoyed the experience. I really enjoyed getting to know people. And what I love most is that we're actually still very much in contact with each other in the WhatsApp group. Having a joke with each other. Maybe it's helped that a couple of us are YouTubers, and there's videos to watch and remind us of the tours we've been on. Maybe they'll keep watching, maybe they won't. I guess the bigger question to come from this is not so much did I enjoy it, because I very much did, but would I do it again? Because even if I go on another Wild Bad touring tour, I'm not guaranteed to have the same people on the group. I'm not guaranteed to have the same friendliness within whatever that group happens to be. So would I do it again? Yeah, I think I would. I think it's given me a good perspective of that sort of tour. I'm not sure quite how to word it, but I would feel less anxious about doing it in future. For sure, I would feel less anxious about that. I'll certainly go on with the Richie's tours again, I think. I don't know when. It won't be 2026, obviously, because I think they're all sold out anyway, but not got the time off work for that, and not really got the money at the moment. But maybe 2027, see what tours he's got, and head out on one. Would I do anyone else's tours is a different matter entirely. I mean, yes, I'm more open to it, I would say. I wasn't closed off to doing it in the first place. I was just very anxious about doing it, very worried about it, sort of thing. I think it depends on the tour, if I'm being completely honest. As I say, I don't think I'll be quick enough for Chicken Strips tour. There are other tours, obviously, other tour operators. And certainly group riding isn't a problem for me. Let's get out before that truck. I'm very much open to it. I mean, group tours generally I don't really have an issue with. I think if you go on something like the Wild Bad Weekender where there's a group ride, like right at the start, you don't know anyone, it's quite a large group ride, and then a camping weekend where, you know, if you're on your own, you're going to have to get to know people. If you're going to do that sort of thing, I don't think you've got a problem with doing a group tour, really. So long as you get in the right tour. Yeah. I'm not saying you have to. Which think, you know, don't close your mind up to it. I really enjoyed it. I came back really happy that I went on that tour. Quite glad I went on that tour. And if you are considering going on that tour, I do recommend it. It's a very good tour. The scenery is marvellous. The roads are marvellous. The host's really good. The hotel, well, I mean, yeah. It's a hotel. What do you want? You're not spending a huge amount of time there, really. Obviously, sleep in there. A few drinks after the ride before dinner. I think we had one meal there. Yeah. Good little hotel. I have no idea how much it costs. I could look it up. But what's the point? Why ruin some of the magic? Anyway, guess what I was trying to get to in this video is that I really enjoyed that tour. I don't know necessarily that it came across in the videos, but yeah, I would go back to Picos. I would probably do one of those exact tours again, but I would certainly go on a Wild Bad tour again, I think. Not Morocco. Wouldn't do Morocco. I don't think I've got the bikes for that. I'm nearly at my lunch stop for the day. Oh yes, the old Smithy Monash. Assuming it's open. I hope it is. I should be disappointed if it's not. The little village of Monash. Right, yeah, I shall end the video here, I think. I have no idea if you got anything from the video, but if you have, you know, do the usuals. Until the next one, thanks for watching. Be good humans. Ta-ta for now. There's a few daring lads here today. Let's see if I can find somewhere to park now. Park too far apart.